The access for the training wheels, the binaural beats.
Sí,
Yeah, just
pulsos binaurales,
I'll write it
¿dónde
down
pueden
so you
accesar
can
esa información
see
de los
what it
pulsos
says.
binaurales? Sí.
You just Google
Lo que tienen que
these
hacer es
two
una
words.
búsqueda en Google de estas dos palabras.
Binaural. That doesn't look right.
No parece estar escrito correctamente, dice.
I think that's right.
Creo
Binaural.
que esa es la ortografía, binaural
Beat.
en español. Y beat,
Google
pues,
will probably
¿qué
correct
quiere
you.
decir,
If you put that in, they'll
pulso?
probably fix it for
Si no lo
you.
escriben bien, o sea, cuando ponen algún error de ortografía, es muy probable que Google les corrija la ortografía. En inglés, binaural beats, y en español, pulsos
Gnarl.
binaurales.
N-A-U-R-L. Is that it?
Así es.
Binaural. That seems right.
Sí, parece
Something
que así
like
está
that.
bien.
Oral is a word that
Aural
means
es una palabra
hearing.
que significa audición.
It's associated with the
Está
word
asociado
hearing.
con la palabra audición. Ese sufijo aural.
Yeah. And you will get, there'll be dozens of sites come
Y
up. There may be
encontrarán docenas
50
de
or 100
sitios,
sites
o
come
sea,
up. You
probablemente
just search for the
50 o 100,
ones where you can
busquen
make
o
your
escojan
own.
aquellos en los que
You go into the
se sientan
website
más
and you
cómodos,
tell it
o sea,
what bass frequency and what difference
ahí verán
frequency
frecuencias
and the
de
steps you want it and
bajos,
how
o sea,
long you want it to play, and you can
como
just,
quieren
it's a very
reproducir el
simple
sonido.
little thing to use.
Estamos hablando de
And
algo
then
muy
you hit the
sencillo de
run
realizar.
button
En
and
cuanto
it'll
ponen,
produce that sound for you.
oprimen o le
You
hacen
save
clic
the
el
sound
botón
in your
de
computer
reproducir, o
and
sea,
then you download
pueden
that,
escuchar el
you
sonido que
get it
pueden
in an
descargar
audio
de su
file, like a
computadora,
WAV file,
pueden
or a,
bajarlo en formato de
what's the
archivos
file
WAV,
everybody
o
has?
cuáles son
The
aquellos que todos tienen de
file
sonido
that goes on
o
your
de
little
música
device. But
que
anyway, you
entran
can
en
get it in
sus
those files and
dispositivos
then
de
just
reproducción.
download it to your
Sí,
iPod.
lo pueden descargar a su iPod o a sus dispositivos de reproducción en diferentes formatos de audio.
Maybe.
Tal vez.
Or, I don't know. Anyway,
Está tratando de verificar la ortografía. Pero
spelling is not one of the things
sí,
I know.
la ortografía no es una de las cosas que
Is that
nos
it?
cayó bien. Sí, así está bien.
Okay. Okay.
Muy bien.
I wanted the time to do just a little more talk before we
¿Quieres que platique
take a
un
lunch
poco más
break.
antes de ir a la comida?
Yeah, half an hour or
¿Media
so.
hora te parece bien?
And then we're going to go to lunch.
Y luego, nos
And then
vamos
we're
a
going to
comer,
come back.
y luego
And then we got
regresamos.
all
Entonces,
afternoon to
tenemos
ask
toda
questions.
la tarde para hacer
So
preguntas.
I had a little segment that
Tengo un
I didn't
pequeño
get to yet.
segmento, al que
And that was
no había,
segment
hecho alusión
9,
todavía. Estoy hablando
and
del
that was
segmento
talk about
9,
sleep and
que
dreams.
tiene que ver con el
And we've
sueño,
talked about dreams already.
y el dormir. Ya hablé acerca de los sueños.
So I'll talk just a little
De
bit
modo que
about
voy a hablar un
sleep.
poco acerca,
A lot of times people want to
del
know,
sueño.
what is it? Why
En
do we do it?
ocasiones, o sea,
Why do we
las
have to
personas
lie down and
preguntan,
go
¿por qué tengo
unconscious
que
for
dormir?
8
O sea, ¿por
hours?
qué tengo que estar inconsciente por espacio de 8
Well,
horas
sleep
cada
has
día?
several
Bueno, el
functions. This
sueño
only
tiene
take a few
varias
minutes to
funciones,
talk
¿cierto?
about this, and
Sí,
then I'm going to
abarcará
switch
únicamente
to
unos minutos y
relationship.
después hablo de relaciones.
Sleep
El sueño
has
tiene
4 basic functions. One,
funciones básicas. Una
it's
es la de
a rule set requirement
sí,
for physical
que es un
regeneration. That's
requisito
the
del
thing we
conjunto
know,
de
right?
reglas
You
para
rest.
fines de regeneración
Your body
física.
rests all day
O sea,
long.
todos lo sabemos,
Your
el
body
cuerpo
is active.
está
It
activo
produces
todo el
waste
día,
products.
y
Those waste
produce
products build up.
una serie de
And when you
productos que hay que
sleep,
eliminar o
you
tóxicos
stop
que
being
hay
so
que
active. You
eliminar.
stop
Sí,
producing
y
waste
al
products, and
dormir,
your
o sea,
body has
dejamos
a
de
chance to
producir
take out the
esas
trash.
sustancias tóxicas que salen del
That's
cuerpo,
the,
porque el cuerpo se tiene que
you
deshacer de ellas.
regenerate
Y es así que se
physically with
regenera
that. So that's just a
físicamente el
physical
organismo.
requirement
Entonces, por un lado es un requisito
to
físico o un
satisfy
requerimiento
the rule
físico
set.
que permite satisfacer las
Another thing
condiciones
that
del
sleep
conjunto de
does
reglas. Otra cosa
is
que
it
permite el sueño
basically
es que
is
básicamente
a system reboot,
es una especie de reinicio del
particularly
sistema.
if you're in
Sí,
an endless
sobre
loop.
todo si estás en un bucle o un
If
ciclo
you're very
interminable.
upset
Si
about
estás muy
something,
alterado sobre
you're
algo,
kind of in a wad. You know, you're twisted over some idea and you're upset or you're excited or whatever. You go to sleep. In the morning you wake up and it's a different world. It's like you get a reboot. So it's a chance to physically recharge and it's a chance to gain a new perspective. Because otherwise, we'd get obsessed with a particular perspective and we'd keep focused on it and focused on it. And pretty soon it would kind of take over our world. We'd easily get obsessed and overreact and over-focused into things, but the sleep once a day turns us off, lets us reboot, we come back in the morning, and things are different. That's why you have the old saying that says, well, let's just sleep on it. There's a problem, let's just sleep on it, and things will be different in the morning, and they are different in the morning. So it's a system reboot. Pops you out of endless loops. Sleep enables dreams. There's a lot of learning and growing that we really can't do very efficiently here because of this very tight rule set that keeps everything consistent. So we need the sleep period so that we can dream, because that gives us access to another virtual reality that has different learning potential than this virtual reality. So sleep's required to give us that. And we need both realities because we can learn different things in different ways. In this reality, you don't just plop, get put down in a little vignette, you know, a little drama, and have to react to it. And then it's gone. Here, if you get in a drama, it doesn't just, it's gone. You've got a drama and it stays here. So there you can get into a drama and it just disappears. That's very convenient for you to have these choices in these dramas that you couldn't play out here. So it gives us the chance to get into a difference. So for 16 hours we work in this virtual reality, and then for some other hours we get to experience a very different process in a different reality. While we reboot and physically regenerate. And another attribute it falls under, I guess, the same thing that sleep enables dreams. When you're dreaming, the larger consciousness system can directly work with you. Okay. You're more accessible there. When you're in a dream, you interact at the being level. Notice that in your dreams, the way you act and the way you interact and the things that you get are basically the way you are. You don't interact there from your intellectual level. You interact from your being level. That's the real you, for the most part, in dreams. And the larger conscious system can work with that. It can give you a dream or put you in a fear spot just to give you practice and opportunity to deal with it. Okay, so that's why we need sleep. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, which you probably find interesting, and I'll create another 100 questions from every one of you. It's good we're going to have some hours this afternoon, is to talk about what you can do in your significant other relationship. And I'll talk in terms of male-female relationship, though I know significant other relationships may be same-sex, but that's kind of in the minority, and I'm going to talk to the majority. So this will be about male-female relationships, because I told you yesterday that if love has conditions, it isn't love. And that most of our relationships are need-based. That's how they start. They start when you're 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and that's when most of them, that's when you're learning most of your relationship stuff. And at that point in our life, we're very need-based. We're very self-focused. Our relationships tend to be need-based. Even when we get older, they still are need-based. And when I say need-based, I don't mean that there's nothing there but need. I just mean that need is a major component. There's also love. They're love-based too. They're both. They're a mixture of that. Now, if your relationship is terrible, I'm not really talking to you either. Just like the same-sex relationships, that's usually has to be a case-to-case basis. There's not much you can say just in general about that because it's very specific. So I'm talking about relationships that have a lot of quality to them, but there's still a lot of need-based going on there and struggling about who's going to get whose needs met and how. And the need deal that we make, the bargain, starts to run afoul after a few years because I need you to not throw your socks and underwear on the floor. And you need me to do something else. And we have these needs, and we get very upset if what we need we don't get. And it's very self-centered, it's ego, and fear-based. So it's destructive to the relationship, have a need-based relationship. Well, how do you change it?
Y ahí
That's what I want to talk about
situaciones
for
muy destructivas a menos que cambiemos. Y es de eso de lo que quiero
20
hablar
minutes,
durante los
25
próximos
minutes.
20,
How do
25
we
minutos.
change
¿Cómo
that?
podemos
Because we're
cambiar esa
within this
relación?
cycle,
Porque
right?
estamos en un ciclo.
There's
o
this
quedamos
clash going
constantemente en
on.
un
It's
ciclo en
because
el que tenemos
our
enfrentamientos
needs
y
are
choques
different.
porque nuestras necesidades como
We've been in this relationship for
hemos estado en esta
10
relación,
years,
por ejemplo, durante
and
10
our
años,
needs have changed
y
over
nuestras
that time.
necesidades han cambiado a lo largo del tiempo. A lo largo
We've
de ese
changed
periodo.
over that time.
Nosotros mismos en esta
We're
relación
constantly renegotiating the relationship in terms of meeting needs. Let's have a talk. We need to renegotiate how we're meeting each other's needs. Well, the love part of it just kind of exists on its own, and nobody ever really talks about that. That just is the unspoken part. When you sit down and talk about your relationship, you're almost always talking about your needs. So sitting down and talking about it probably isn't going to do a lot of long-term good. So you can go to a counselor, and the counselor can sit down and talk about it, and you can renegotiate, and you can decide that, okay, I won't throw my socks and underwear on the floor, and you will, come home early, and you won't work till 10 o'clock at night every night. We come up with these problems that we have with each other, but that's usually short-term, because you negotiate a new deal, and then eventually that deal wears off, because after all, you are who you are, and you do what you do, and unless you change at the being level, nothing really changes other than your acting ability. And acting wears thin. So eventually it's right back to where it was. It's not usually a long-term commitment unless it's an aha moment for somebody and they really change at the being level. Then that's different. So given that that's the case with most of us, we have relationships that have a pretty large component of need-based to them, along with the love-based. I would say here is a plan, here's a strategy, a way that you can approach it. And I give you this way just because it's the one I think is most likely to work. Now you can approach it all sorts of different ways. You can take this and manipulate it to suit yourself. But here's what is most likely to succeed. Somebody's got to start. Somebody's got to break this cycle of, I'll meet your needs if you need mine, and I won't meet your needs if you don't meet mine. Somebody's got to break out of that, because that just feeds on itself, right? It's a self-feeding, self-perpetuating thing. All you do is renegotiate. So let's break it. How do we break it? We break it by making the relationship more love-based. Somebody's got to say, it's not about my needs, it's about your needs. Somebody has to not worry about what's coming to them, but what they can give to others. Somebody's got to make that change, and then the other person will do whatever they do. They'll react to that change. They get an opportunity to react. All right? This is the way that it works best. Guys, you need to stop thinking about what you want, and you need to start thinking about what your woman wants, what she needs, and whatever it is she needs, whatever it is, and it doesn't have to make any rational sense. You need to try your best to
tienen que
make
hacer
her
un
happy
esfuerzo por hacerla
and give it to
feliz
her.
y dárselo a ella.
If she wants the
Si ella
bedroom
quiere,
painted
sí, que se pinte
lavender,
la
because it'll go with
recámara
her
de
new
color verde
curtains, and you
lavanda
just
porque
painted the
combina
bedroom a
con
year
las
ago, and the
cortinas.
paint's perfectly
Sí,
good.
y aunque hayan pintado
Get
apenas
some
hace un
lavender
año,
paint and paint the
vayan y
bedroom,
compren
because
la
it'll make her
pintura verde
happy.
lavanda y píntenlo
Even
porque así le
though
van a
it
hacer
is
feliz.
not
Aun cuando
rational,
no sea
right? But
racional,
do it anyway.
háganlo de
See?
todas maneras.
So
De modo
this is the way.
esta es la
Guys,
forma de hacerlo.
you're in
Señores,
charge. You're the
ustedes
leader.
sí, ustedes piensan
Why are
que
you
son
the
los
leader?
líderes, ¿por
Well,
qué son los
for
líderes?
2 reasons.
Bueno, son
Actually,
los
there's
líderes por
more.
dos
There's 3
razones.
reasons.
Realmente no dos, son
Part
tres.
of it is just your
Parte de la
natural
razón es que
hardwiring. It comes
están
from our instincts.
conectados
It's
entre
the way we
todos
are as human beings.
instintivamente para ser así. Así
But
somos
the
los
social
humanos.
aspect of it is you're the
Pero hay
leader
otro
because you
aspecto
believe
social,
you are and
sí.
you want to be,
Son líderes
and
porque
because
piensan que lo son y
your
quieren
woman
serlo,
lets you.
y la señora los deja.
Okay? So
¿no?
you are the
Entonces,
leader.
ustedes son los
She
líderes.
expects
Ok. De hecho,
that.
las señoras
But
esperan
it's
eso,
also the way we're
pero
made. It's the way we're
también
built.
tiene que ver con una
So,
cuestión natural, sí, porque así
Guys,
estamos
you need to lead it,
construidos, ¿no?
and you
Entonces,
need
sí,
to
señores,
make your relationship
sean los líderes,
just
pero hagan
based
su
on love,
relación
and that means
basada en
giving.
el amor, y eso significa dar.
Giving, make your lady happy,
Dar para que la
whatever it
señora
takes.
sea feliz, no importa lo que se requiera.
Now, I know you're going
Ahora
to
bien,
be working this
seguramente
from the intellect,
ya estarán pensando
but
en esto
very
a nivel
quickly,
intelectual,
you need
pero
to
rápidamente,
take it out of your
sí,
intellect
necesitan
and put
alejar
it in
todas estas ideas de su
at
intelecto
your being
y
level. You
llevarlas
need to
al
really
nivel del ser.
be this,
Necesitan
not just
ser
act it,
esto,
because if
no
you're just
actuarlo, porque si
acting,
únicamente actúan esto,
your lady will know
sí, la
that you're
señora
just
se dará
acting,
cuenta que estarán
and she
actuando
will know
fingiendo,
that that
y se va a
act
dar
will
cuenta,
stop.
sí, de que ese
It's not real.
acto o ese
It's short term,
engaño será a corto
and that
plazo,
won't help a bit.
y es a corto plazo.
It has to
Sí,
be
no les
for real.
ayudará
It
en
has to be
absoluto.
real
Tiene que
term.
ser
It
algo
has to
real.
be part of you.
Tiene
So
que
you
ser
have to
parte
grow
de
up.
ustedes. Tienen que crecer
So the
como
guys
señores.
need to
De modo que
just
los
decide,
señores
I'm going to
necesitan
grow
tomar
up.
la
I'm
decisión
going to
de que
become
van a
love.
crecer.
I need
Voy
to
a
practice
convertirme
this
en amor.
becoming love
Necesito
thing.
practicar
And
en
a
este proceso
really
de
neat way to
convertirme en amor.
practice it
Sí, y la mejor manera de
would be to just
practicarlo
give
es sencillamente
to my
dándole
significant other in my
a su
relationship.
esposa en su
Just
relación
love her,
lo que
which
necesita.
means it's
Sí,
all about
ámela,
her,
sí, lo cual significa que lo más
not at all
importante
about
es
you.
ella, no todo tiene que ser acerca de
So
ustedes.
if things happen
De
that
modo
you don't
que,
like or you
si hay
don't want,
cosas que suceden y que no les gustan o
get
no
over
quieren,
it.
supérenlo,
Deal with it.
sí, enfréntenlo, sí.
If there's a question
Si hay
of whether
una
she's
pregunta en cuanto
right
a si ella tiene
or
la
wrong,
razón o no tiene
get
la razón,
over it.
supérenlo,
She's
olvídense
right.
esa pregunta o ese argumento. O sea,
Doesn't
esa
matter what the
discusión.
question
Ella tiene
is.
la razón, no importa de qué
Doesn't
esté
matter what
hablando.
the issue
No
is or
importa cuál sea
anything
el
else.
problema,
It doesn't
ella
matter what
tiene la razón.
logic
No
says. It
importa lo
doesn't
que
matter
diga o
anything
lo que
about
dicte la
that.
lógica.
It doesn't matter
Olvídenlo.
what, get over it. She is
Supérenlo,
right.
olvídense de ello y denle la razón,
Okay.
punto.
So,
De modo que
this is a way
esta es
that,
una
this is a
manera.
way to practically, if you want an exercise,
Si
what
quieren
kind of
un ejercicio,
exercise
¿qué
could
tipo
we
de
have
ejercicio podríamos
that
utilizar
would let us
que nos
practice this
permita
becoming love
poner en
thing
práctica este
and would be
proceso de
really,
convertirnos
really
en amor
valuable to us
y
at
que
the same
puede ser muy
time?
valioso para
Well,
nosotros al mismo
start
tiempo?
with
Bueno,
your
comience
relationship.
con su
Remember I said
relación.
relationships are
Recuerde
really
que
where the
les dije
rubber
ayer
meets
que
the
la
road here.
relación,
That's where
o
your
sea, es
choices
donde
are.
realmente se aplica
And
todo
what
esto, porque
better
es aquí donde tienen que
relationship
tomar
to start
decisiones.
with
Y qué
than
mejor
with your
relación para
significant
comenzar
other?
a trabajar con relaciones que aquella que tenemos con nuestro esposo,
Okay.
esposa o
So,
ser más querido. De modo que
The reason I have the
la razón
guys
por la que
leading this
yo les digo a los señores que
is
lideren
because
este
it's
proceso
likely to end
es
better
porque es
if they lead
más
it.
probable
If they can
que el
become
resultados exitosos
that,
ellos
if they can
lideren
actually
este
become it,
proceso.
not just
Si
act
puedes,
it.
si
They'll
ellos
be
pueden de
acting a little
verdad,
bit to
o sea,
begin with because it'll
ser
be
y no
new to
actuar.
them.
Sí,
But the ladies will
a lo
help.
mejor actúan un poco
They
al
actually
principio
become
porque
it,
será algo
and it
nuevo
really
para ellos
is about her.
inicialmente. Pero
Giving
si
her what
realmente
she
entienden,
wants
o sea,
and
que lo más
needs.
importante
Her
es ella
needs are
y
important.
que sus
Your
necesidades y
needs
sus deseos
are
son
not.
importantes, sí, funcionan
And
mejor.
eventually you'll
Los de
even
ellas
just
son
give up your
importantes, las de
needs.
ustedes no. Y a
And
lo
you'll
mejor
take joy
en algún momento
in
van a renunciar a sus propias
meeting her
necesidades, señores,
needs.
y van a
That will
incluso
be your
disfrutar
pleasure.
en la
That will be your
satisfacción
joy.
de
And then
sus
you'll only
necesidades
have
y
this
sus
one
deseos.
need,
Eso les va a dar
and that
gran
need will
placer.
be to make
Y
her
esa
happy,
única necesidad
whatever it
que a
takes.
lo mejor encuentran finalmente es la
So
de
that's what you
hacerla
need to
feliz.
do.
Es lo
Now,
que necesitan.
why should
Ahora
you
bien,
start? Well,
¿por qué
because
habrían de
if the
empezar,
ladies
iniciar el
start,
proceso? Bueno,
well, let me
porque-
put it the other way.
¿por
Let me
qué
start,
son
let me
ustedes los
back
que
up a
deberían
little bit.
iniciar?
You start, and what
Permítanme
happens
expresarlo.
in
Si ustedes
your lady's
empiezan
mind is
en
that
este
suddenly
proceso, Sí.
everything she's ever dreamed of starts to come true and become a reality. And that's that she's the most important person in your life, and you're committed to her, and you want to make her happy. And how does she react to that? She is hardwired in her you know, just because she's a physical human being, she's hardwired in her genetics, she will respond to that. And when she responds to that, she will want to deserve it. She will start to change and have the same idea. Because to deserve it, she'll know that she will have to not just make demands, because that's like refusing it. She will try to make you happy. She will try to do and be whatever you need. You see? So her reaction is to focus entirely on you and give you everything that you need. And that's a natural reaction for her, to do that, to feel that way. And she will become everything you ever thought you wanted, because she will want to become that, because you started it. Now, if we do it the other way, men are not wired exactly the same way women are when it comes to their instincts. And if the women started and say they're just going to give the men everything that their men need, they're going to solve all their wants and all their needs, and just give and love to them entirely, with no needs or wants of their own, the men don't have the same sort of response to that. The response the men have is, "Phew, hey, this is nice. I like this. More? More? Can we have a little more? I tell you what, babe, why don't you do this and that?" The men would kind of kick back and love it, but they wouldn't really feel the same sort of need and respond the way the women will, because the women are hardwired to respond that way and the men aren't. It's not that the women are better or superior or something in this, it's the hardwiring that comes from our instincts. It's just the way we are. We don't want to mess with a good thing. You get a good thing going, we just leave it alone. Don't mess with it, you might break it. And, they will feel very much like they want to return that and be worthy of it. So, that's a little experiment that you can do. But you got to become it. You can't act it, guys. You really have to mean it. And you have to do it sincerely, long enough for your lady to believe you, that you really mean it, and that you are that way. Because if she thinks you're just making this up to see what will happen, she's not going to respond to it. She's not going to respond. Her hardwiring doesn't kick in and make her respond unless she really believes that it's true, that it's honest, that it's accurate, that it's coming from your being level. When she feels that, she responds. If she feels like, interesting game, I'm enjoying it, but I don't believe it, which is the way she'll feel for some months, because after all, this is a pretty drastic change. She won't believe it. But eventually, if you keep it up and keep it up and keep it up, she will believe it. She will. So that is an exercise for you in changing the relationship with your significant other. Somehow you have to break the cycle of need negotiations. That's the normal way of dealing with issues in relationships, is you renegotiate the needs. That is a short-term success, a long-term failure. Somebody has to take the lead to break that cycle. Guys, you're the natural leaders here. You need to start it off, which means you need to actually think about giving and not taking. Don't worry about what you get. Again, your needs are not important to you. You don't have these needs, or if you have them, you'll just ignore them. That's part of your fear. It's part of your ego. You want to get rid of that, so you just let those needs go. Just love her. Just care about her. She's your sole purpose in life, is to make her happy. Nothing about you, everything's about her. And ladies, all you have to do is respond. However you actually normally do. So
o
that's
como lo harían de manera natural.
my advice
Ese es
on
mi
a
consejo.
good experiment
Y además
in
es un buen
becoming love
experimento para
and
transformarse en amor
making
y
your relationship
hacer que su relación
fantastic.
sea fantástica.
Because what this has the potential to do
El potencial
is
de todo este
create
proceso es el de
a
crear
feedback
sí,
rather than a
una
feedback of
retroalimentación,
my needs, your
sí,
needs, my needs,
pero
your
basada en
needs.
otras cosas, no
It has a
necesariamente en las
feedback of love.
necesidades. Es una retroalimentación
You'll
de amor.
get back more
Van a recibir
than
mucho
what you
más
give
de lo que
if you
dan.
don't care about
Sí.
getting anything back.
Si no se preocupan acerca de
But
que
only if you
recibir algo
don't
a
care
cambio.
about getting
Pero es
anything back.
únicamente
Then it's just a matter
a
of
renunciar
giving.
a estas cosas que
See,
recibirían a
then you
cambio, que
have two
obtendrán lo
people,
que quieren.
each
Y en ese
trying to
momento
make the
tendrán
other
a dos personas
as
tratando
happy
de
as
hacerse
possible, each trying to
la
meet
una a
the
la otra
other's
tan
needs
feliz como se
because they
pueda,
want to,
sí, y satisfaciendo sus
because
necesidades porque quieren
they're
hacerlo,
expressing their love,
porque están
and love is
expresando su
about
amor,
other,
y
about
el amor
giving.
tiene que ver con el
See,
otro
and
y
if you
con dar.
get that
Si
cycle
ustedes
going,
echan a andar este
your
ciclo,
relationship
si su
will
relación
be beyond your imagination. It will
va
just
a
be
ser mucho mejor
wonderful.
de lo que se imaginan.
All
Será
the problems
maravillosa,
and the
todos los
troubles will just kind
problemas
of
sí,
disappear.
Desaparecerán.
So that's a way. Now, I
Pero
don't
esa
say
es
that in
una
the next
manera.
2 weeks you'll
De
meet
ninguna manera
success.
estoy
This is
diciendo
something
que
you
van
need
a
to,
poder hacerlo en
you know,
los
you need to
próximos
grow
15
into.
días.
The guys
Es
really
algo
need
en
to
lo que
change
tienen que
at the
evolucionar,
being
porque los
level
señores tienen que cambiar a
to
nivel del ser
just
para
give
sencillamente
and
poder
have
dar
no thoughts of what
sin
they
estar
expect back.
pensando
They
en
expect
qué
nothing
estamos
back.
esperando a cambio. No deben
It's
esperar
not, if
nada
the
a
guy
cambio.
goes into it and
Si el
says,
señor
I'm
o sea,
going to
llega
do
y
this
dice, ¿sabes
because
qué?
of
Voy
what
a
I'm
hacer
going to
esto
get back,
porque ya estoy
it
pensando
won't
en lo que
work.
voy a
You
recibir.
just have
No va
to
a
do it
funcionar.
because it's the way
Sencillamente
I
lo
am and
tienen
it's the right
que
thing to
hacer
do.
porque deben saber
And
que es
I
lo
have,
correcto o
I'll
están
accept
convencidos de
whatever
ellos
comes back.
y
No
aceptaré cualquier
expectations
cosa que reciba a
whatsoever.
cambio sin
Ladies, you
expectativa
have no
alguna.
expectations
Y
either.
señoras,
You
tampoco
just be
ustedes deben tener
yourselves.
expectativas, sean
Just be
ustedes
the
mismas
way you are.
sencillamente, sean como son
And
normalmente,
if you
o
look
como
back
creen
and
que
say,
deben
well,
ser.
the way I'm
Y
being isn't very nice, I'm just taking
en ese
advantage here, then
proceso, o sea,
change it.
se dan cuenta de que no estaban haciendo lo correcto.
Your point is to grow
sí,
up too.
y sencillamente se estaban
So it's really a
aprovechando
neat
de la
little
situación.
exercise
Cambien. Es un
where
ejercicio
nobody can
intelectual
lose.
en el que nadie puede perder.
Nobody can lose
Nadie
anything.
puede perder nada.
Everybody just has a chance
Todos
to grow.
tienen la oportunidad de crecer
We're
sencillamente.
creating an environment.
Estamos tratando con
The
este
men are
ejemplo,
creating an
sí, con
environment
este
in
ejercicio
which
de
the ladies
generar
can let go of
un
their fear.
entorno en el que las mujeres renuncien a sus miedos.
Of course, since the men don't have any fears, it's easy for them, right?
Sí, desde luego para los señores es fácil, porque ellos no tienen
The
miedos,
men
¿verdad?
have to deal with their fears.
Sí, no, la verdad es que sí
They
tienen que
have to
hacerle
swallow
frente a
that
sus
fear and
miedos.
get rid of it.
Tienen que tragárselos y
Swallow
deshacerse
that
de
ego
ellos. Sí,
and spit it out.
tragarse ese ego y luego escupirlo. ¿No?
Does that sound like fun?
Sí, ¿les parece interesante
Now
y
we're-
divertido?
we're-
Bueno, perdón, no escuché eso.
Well, you know, there are things,
Existen
I've
cosas-
given this kind of talk
Este tipo de
several times
plática
before,
la he
and
hecho
you can
varias,
go up to
en varias
YouTube,
ocasiones,
and you will
no
find
solo, y pueden
any
de
number
hecho
of
entrar a
times
YouTube
when
y
I have done
encontrar,
this,
varios
and
videos
you
de
can sit your
ocasiones en las
husbands
que
down and
los he
say,
hecho. Y
listen to
este
this
señor
guy,
aquí, que creo que
I'd
lo que
like to
preguntó
try
la
this.
señora, sí,
And,
póngale el video de YouTube al señor, si no
so
vino
you
aquí
can
al
do
culto,
that.
¿no? Sí, eso es lo que les
But
sugiero.
anyway, this will be a lot of fun.
Pero de verdad
It's
es
difficult to
divertido.
do.
Sí, es difícil de hacer.
It's going to
no
be
es
tough
fácil.
for the guys
Sí,
to
va a
do
ser
this,
difícil para
but
los señores
if
sobre
they
todo.
really want to,
Pero
if
de
they're really
verdad-
serious
de verdad
about
lo quieren
growing
hacer,
up
si de verdad toman en serio esa
and
posibilidad
evolving
de
the quality of their
ser
consciousness,
y
because
mejorar
this is
la
not
calidad
only
de
going to
su
fix their
conciencia.
love life,
Sí, porque
it's
esto
going
no
to
solo
fix
va
all the
a
rest of their
corregir,
life
o sea,
too.
a solucionar, o
This
sea,
is
su
the
vida
growth
pareja,
that they have
sino
in
el
this
resto de
is
su
going to
vida.
change their whole
Sí.
life in every way,
Es
in their
la forma
job,
de cambiar, o
you
sea, su
know,
vida en todos los
with their
aspectos,
friends,
en su
everything
trabajo,
is
con
going
sus
to be
amigos, o
made
sea,
better. Everything's going to
con-
change here. So
sí,
this is
todo va a
life-changing
mejorar.
stuff.
Es algo que va a transformar sus
But the
vidas
nice
en
thing
general.
about it is there's
Pero lo
no
mejor de ello
losers.
es que
Let's say
aquí
the
nadie
guy
pierde.
does this
Sí,
and his
supongamos que el
significant
señor,
other
o sea,
lady
hace esto
doesn't.
y la señora
Who lost?
no
Guy
lo
didn't
hace.
lose.
Aun cuando
He's
la señora
gained
no
a lot.
reacciona,
He's learned how to
él
love.
habrá ganado mucho.
He's learned
Él
how
no
to
perdió.
not make it all about
Aprendió
him.
cómo amar, o sea,
He's
aprendió cómo
learned
renunciar a
really
su
something
egoísmo.
great.
Sí, estará haciendo algo
Okay?
grandioso.
So
¿De acuerdo?
nobody's going to
De modo
lose
que aquí
in
nadie
this.
pierde
Everybody's
en
going to
esta
be
ecuación.
creating
Todo el mundo
opportunity
estará
for the other
generando
person to grow.
oportunidades, además para que
And
la
ladies,
otra persona
if you
crezca.
challenge him,
Y señoras,
if
si
he just
ustedes desafían a
is
sus
just
maridos,
giving to you and giving
sí,
to you, and you just
en
say,
el sentido de
more,
que les da,
more,
y
I
les
want a
da,
little more.
y
Hey,
les da,
scratch
y
my
ustedes
back over here
quieren
and do
todo,
this, or
todo,
go
sin
stand in
hacer
the
nada, o sea,
corner,
ráscame
on
la
one foot for an
espalda,
hour,
o sea,
and you doing all
tráeme
these
una de las
things. Well,
pantuflas y se
that's
aprovechan.
your opportunity,
Bueno,
see, to
ese es
grow too, because you'll see the kind of response that gets. And you'll see that you're starting to deteriorate the very thing that you want, and et cetera, and you will start to have the motivation to not just exploit, but to build with it, see? So it creates opportunity to move toward love everywhere. And there's no downside. There's nothing that anybody can do but end up better off for the experiment.
La única posibilidad aquí es de que
good deal, right?
mejoren a partir del experimento.